So you're thinking about buying the Moondrop Aria. I get it. Everyone online seems to love it. But before you spend your hard-earned $100, you need to hear this honest review. Because I'm going to show you the real problems with these hyped-up IEMs that no one else is talking about. For the best price, click the link in the description. Let's be real. The Moondrop Aria is praised as the mid-range superstar, the trickle-down flagship technology, the dynamic performance monster. It has a 3.6-star rating on Amazon for about $99.99, which already tells a story of divided opinion. But here's what surprised me. After using them extensively, I found some critical flaws that make this a potentially terrible purchase for certain people. Therefore, this isn't just another glowing review. We're going deep on the cons, the fit issues, the sonic compromises, and who should actually avoid these like the plague. First, let's talk about the elephant in the room: comfort and build. The product page brags about an alloy-casted, precision-milled housing and a brass CNC-milled nozzle. It sounds premium. It feels decently solid in the hand. However, the shape is the problem. That smooth, curved shell might look sleek in the pictures, but for many ears it's a slippy, frustrating nightmare. There's no aggressive contour or wing to lock it in place. Therefore, if you have ears that aren't a perfect match, you'll be constantly readjusting them. Imagine you're on a walk or at the gym, one wrong head turn and they're popping out. It's like trying to hold a wet bar of soap. That's joke number one. These aren't IEMs. They're escape artists training for the great ear canal breakout. Now the sound. This is where the marketing gets thick. They talk about a composite diaphragm, smooth treble extension, natural high resolution, and ultra-low distortion. And look, when you first listen, they sound good. The tuning is generally pleasant, non-offensive, with a mild V-shape. But here's the contrarian snapback. This safe tuning is also their biggest weakness. They lack excitement and dynamism. The bass, while present, can feel a bit one-note and lacks the textured slam you might want for electronic or hip-hop. The mids are fine but can be overshadowed. The treble extension they mention. It's there, but it's polite to a fault. Therefore, if you're looking for a thrilling, engaging listen that gets your foot tapping, the Aria might leave you feeling a bit bored. It's the audio equivalent of beige wallpaper, inoffensive but utterly forgettable. Let's talk about the cable. Oh, the cable. This is a classic cost-cutting measure that creates a huge daily annoyance. The stock cable is a flimsy, tangly mess of thin wires and a cheap plastic Y-split. It has zero strain relief at the connectors, which is a major point of failure. It feels like it was designed by someone who has only ever seen cables in pictures. Therefore, within weeks, you're likely dealing with microphonics, rubbing noise traveling up the wire, and the constant fear of a channel cutting out. You'll almost certainly need to budget for an aftermarket cable, which immediately adds to the true cost of this budget champion. That's joke number two. The included cable isn't a cable. It's a suggestion for where you should plug in a real one. Durability is a major concern. Remember the top reviews on Amazon. Many of those lower ratings aren't about sound. They're about paint chipping and driver failure. The beautiful painted finish on the Aria is notoriously fragile. They call it a CMF design for a fresh look. I call it a chipping, matting, and flaking design. Simply putting them in a case can cause wear. And more critically, there are numerous reports of one side dying completely after a few months. Moondrop's warranty and support can be a labyrinth to navigate. Therefore, that $100 investment might have the lifespan of a disposable vape. You're not just buying sound, you're buying anxiety. Who are these actually for then? If you have perfectly average, textbook ear anatomy, listen primarily to acoustic, jazz, or vocal-centric music at a desk, and you treat your gear like a museum piece, you might be happy. But for anyone active, anyone with picky ears, anyone who loves bass-heavy or highly dynamic music, or anyone who just wants a durable daily driver, these are a hard pass. The competition at this price point is fierce. There are IEMs with better hooks, better cables out of the box, and more engaging tunings. The Aria feels like a product from a bygone era, resting on its outdated hype. That's joke number 3. Buying the Aria today is like getting a flip phone because you heard they were great in 2007. Let's get into the nitty-gritty technical performance they love to hype. The dynamic performance monster, acclaimed with its long-stroke symmetrical magnetic circuit. In practice, the dynamic range feels compressed. When a big crescendo hits in a movie soundtrack or orchestral piece, the aria doesn't swell with authority. It just gets a bit louder. The improved flat treble extension avoids sibilance, which is good, but it also rolls off the very top sparkle and air. Cymbals lose their shimmer, and details in the upper registers are softened. It's a veil, subtle but there. Therefore, for critical listening or if you crave absolute clarity, you're being shortchanged. You're getting a smoothed over, simplified version of the music. Now, the fit issue is more than just comfort. It directly ruins the sound. IEMs need a perfect seal to produce the intended bass response and isolation. Because of that slippery shell, achieving and maintaining that seal is a constant battle. One slight jaw movement and poof, the bass disappears, and the sound becomes thin and tinny. You'll be that person constantly poking at their ears. It defeats the entire purpose of an in-ear monitor. Therefore, the Aria's most fundamental job, staying in your ear with a good seal, is where it fails most dramatically for a significant portion of users. Is there anything good? Sure. The accessories are decent for the price. You get a nice selection of ear tips. The carrying case is usable. And when they are seated perfectly in a compatible ear, the tonality is generally agreeable for long sessions. It's not a horrible product. But in 2024, not horrible isn't good enough for $100. It's a product skating by on legacy reputation while newer competitors innovate. That's joke number 4. The Moondrop Aria is the guy at the reunion still talking about his high school football touchdown, while everyone else has moved on with their lives. So, what's the resolution? The Moondrop Aria is a problematic recommendation. The combination of a risky fit, questionable long-term durability, a boringly safe tuning, and a terrible stock cable creates a package full of compromises. It's not the undisputed king of the sub-$100 range anymore. Far from it. Therefore, my final verdict is clear. Don't buy the Moondrop Aria if you value security of fit, long-term reliability, or an exciting sound signature. Your money is better spent elsewhere. There are simply better, more robust, and more engaging options available right now. Do your research, look at the newer competition, and save yourself the potential headache. For the best prices on those better alternatives, click the link in the description.